In this video, guys, we are going to discover, or we are going to explore more, and we see which one is better. Should we go into crops or poultry as beginners? Yes, because we are considering beginners. Yes, because in most cases you'll find people with poultry, they also have another part for, animal husband, the other part of the crops, because you cannot be in poultry for a long period of time and you don't venture into crops. Why? Because you will have manure at the end of the day. So that manure will be wasted. So that's why within, through the journey, people start venturing into crops. Maybe they venture into banana plantation, they venture into coffee plantation, etc. and so many other, crops. Why? After venturing into poultry, because at the end of the day, you will have manure. So you cannot have poultry and you don't have crops. You cannot have crops and you don't have animals which will provide you with manure. That is how the sequence works, or the chain. But you cannot start with, you cannot start two of them at once due to maybe you don't have capital, because both of them need capital. These crops will need land and people don't have that huge land. So you just start with one venture. So through the process, through the period of time, you can venture into the other. But you're asking yourself, which one should I start at first? Yes, as a beginner, as you look into eventually into other venture. Maybe later on you venture into crops, maybe later on you venture into poultry, because they move hand in hand. So it's what we are going to discover. Number one, crops or poultry. So we are going to see factors, like 5 factors that will determine which one should we venture in first, because we want to know which one should we venture in first. Number one, crops. Factor number one is what we call land. Land is the major factor, is one of the major factors of production. You cannot produce without land. Therefore, you need land. Now, if you are a beginner, you ask yourself, what amount of land do I have, or can I really acquire or buy? That is point number one that you must consider. If you cannot buy huge chunks of land, please, crops is not a good go for you. It's not a good start for you. Why? Because crops need a very big piece of land. So crops need huge chunks of land. So if you have small piece of land, 50 by 50, 50 by 100, that small piece of land, poultry is the way to go. So on land issue, we shall need huge chunks of land for crops. So if you have small piece of land, please, the best option for you is poultry, because you don't need that too much land for you to venture into poultry. So point number two, or factor number two that you must consider, is what we call startup capital. Capital to start. Startup capital. It is also one of the major factors that we have to consider when it comes to crops or poultry. So crops really need huge chunks of money. Yes, for you to start with crop husbandry, you will need too much money for you to start. Let's say you want to plant maybe bananas, you want to plant coffee, you want to plant tomatoes, all of that, maybe greenhouse, whatever. So you will need huge capital compared to poultry. Poultry does not need that too much capital. Yes, you can start with few birds and you really make good capital. Good income out of it, than in crops, because in crops you cannot start with just 50 by 50 and you think you can make money. In crops you only need land and huge capital so that you can benefit out of it. Without huge capital, you cannot benefit from crop husbandry. So that is also point number 3. That means here poultry has won on land and also on capital. Poultry has also won. Point number 3 is what we call market. I think both of them is 50-50. Yes, this one is 50-50. Why? Because both of them are eatables. They are consumed, meaning they lie under food. People will eat eggs, people will eat chicken, people will eat any crops. Why? Because we feed on food. So Market for food is readily available anywhere. Yeah, yes, depending, but it is readily available. If you are in banana, you will get market for bananas. If you are in coffee, you will get money in coffee. Whatever, if you are in tomatoes, you will get money in tomatoes. Cabbages, whatever. All those things have market everywhere. So that one is 50-50, both of them. So I will not discuss much on it. So market, you will get it on both sides. So it's not a problem on both of them because they are consumed by people. People need food. Number 4, or factor number 4, crops. Let's look at seasons. Seasons. Now, when we look at the seasons, because we have what we call rainy season and sunny season. Remember, for us in Uganda, we are in what we call tropical rainforest. Tropical rainy forest. See, that is our climate. Meaning, we have what we call the rainy season and the sunny season. So, when it comes to seasons, crops are really affected by seasons. Yes, in sunny season, if you don't have irrigation here, if you don't have irrigation, and most of our farmers cannot afford irrigation, meaning they have to wait for season Z for them to grow their crops. Whereas when it comes to poultry, in poultry you don't need to wait for season. You can have birds in wet season, you can have birds in sunny season. Yes, it has no season. So here, poultry has one. It does not need the season for you to start this poultry business. As long as you have your capital to start, you can start. Whether it is raining, whether it is sunny, you can start your business. So that is point number 4. Let's look at point number 5. Now, when we look at point number 5, we shall look at labor. What do I mean by labor? Crops need too much labor. For example, maybe you have an acre of land and you want to grow, coffee on 1 acre. You will need too much workers. But in poultry, you don't need that much. You don't need much workers. I can be with 1 worker or 2 workers, and I smooth run my business without any inconvenience. So poultry does not need that too much labor compared to crop husbandry. So guys, those are the factors that we must consider before choosing up which venture should we go into. But as I told you, these things work hand in hand. If you have poultry, when you start with poultry, later on, poultry will send you into crop husbandry. That is automatic. Why? Because you have manure. Manure, and you don't want to waste your manure. It is very, it is very, really awkward for you to have poultry when you don't have crops. It is very weird. So you must venture into crops later on. But we are looking at a scenario whereby someone cannot venture into both of them at once because he or she is just a beginner with very limited capital. But later on, as your capital grows, as you increase on your, on your income, that means you have to venture into crops. And also we are looking at a scenario whereby someone wants to start with crops, but later on, you will have to venture into poultry or other animals. Why? Because again, you need manure for your crops. That's how these things work hand in hand. Bw'oba olima olina okulunda, bw'olunda olina okulima. That is the sequence, because I cannot have my poultry and I still buy food for what? That means I have to be with a garden where I grow my own crops for either food consumption or for sale. That is the logic behind. See you guys in my next video. God bless you.